You're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Well, how y'all doing? I'm back from my mini break. I didn't do a show on Tuesday. It was my birthday, and
Happy birthday.
I did nothing.
Good.
And a lot of people said, "Hey, that's what I do." I mean, I got up and I drank my coffee, and I read the news, and I read a book, and then I made supper for the family, and that was it. That's a good birthday,
That
actually.
sounds like a perfect day.
Well, it's all right when you're 61. You don't need to have clowns and all this other stuff. But I wouldn't have minded it. But anyway, that's not the point.
We'll get you clowns next year.
Yeah.
Taylor, remember he wants clowns next year.
Yeah. Well, I just remember when my kids are smaller, every birthday was like a big deal. I had to go to the bowling alley or the putt-putt course or whatever. But anyway, we got Jennifer Woods here from Harvest House on her monthly updates and all that. I had your friend Debbie Beeman on a couple of weeks ago, and I bet y'all have similar stories.
Oh, I'm sure.
That every time we talk, it seems like the need has gone greater since the last time we talked.
I would agree with that.
And she said the same thing. And also I have a friend that works at Harvest House in our Sunday school class, and he brings up a lot of stuff of what's going on. And he just said,
"Who's your friend?"
His name is Dave Thompson. Do you know Dave?
I don't know Dave.
Well, yeah, you'd recognize him though. He's big, long, white beard. He's about my age, and he wears shirts kind of like I do. These flowery shirts, and he tells us the same things they're all telling us that the need is just. It's starting to get to the point where it's getting concerning.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's just, not just like, okay, we're busy and all this other stuff, but also like, you're wondering sometimes where the food's going to come from and that kind of thing. But we'll talk about that in a minute. And we also talk about your friend Java John. Didn't he open up today?
He opened up today, and so I went and got a Java chip frozen latte. Oh my gosh. I'm not even, I literally was going to text him, but I was running late, and it was the best one I've ever had. And I don't say that just because he's my friend. It was so good. You could taste the coffee. It wasn't overly sweet, but it was flavorful. It was really good. So go check it out.
It's at H-E-B, and I'm going to go there afterwards. I do that.
And then I went shopping at H-E-B, and I'm like, I haven't shopped at H-E-B for a while. I was like, I love H-E-B, but it's like... Once you go to H-E-B, you can't not shop.
Right.
Oh, I love H-E-B.
I like H-E-B too. I wish their aisles were just a little bit wider because
Yes.
because the bread aisle's the worst, and the dairy aisle's the worst. Trying to get through, and they have all the stockers there, and they have those personal shoppers there, and then it was bad before that. Yeah, it just really crowded, but. I guess there's a reason why. But anyway, the Java John Long still works with y'all, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's your general manager?
Yes, of our resale store.
Okay. Well, good. We got to have him on the show sometime, too. I'm going to go talk to him by being on for his coffee, but we can also talk to him. Maybe next time you can bring him for your next visit.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about our other sponsors before we get into all the other details. Okay, thank you, CrossFit Burleson. They changed hands since we last talked.
I saw that.
Yeah. The two young ladies that own it, they got some plans for it. One's named Lexi, and the other one's named Bailey, and they're nice young ladies. And they got, a lot of the same programs are going to be there. A lot of the familiar stuff in the classes and all that. It's not going to be some radical overhaul, but they are going to add a few things.
Great.
It's over on 317 Southwest Wilshire, and you don't want to be working out like this in this heat outside. You need a air-conditioned place to do it, and they got it. Also, Shandy, Stocks Group, she helped my daughter close yesterday.
Yay.
My daughter was selling her house, and, and there's all these details and all these last-minute glitches, and you had to postpone it 24 hours.
Oh, my gosh. I hate buying a house.
Well, she was selling
You really
it,
need somebody who's good with you if you're buying a house. I've bought and sold too many houses, and I've had great realtors, I've had okay realtors, and I've had amazing realtors, and it's like you need an amazing one.
I honestly think Shandy is, because she knows what she's doing, and she kept us informed, and she held Sarah's hand all the way through it, and when it finally closed, everything happened pretty rapidly, with the funding and all this other business. But it would just, I couldn't do what she's doing because all the details and all the mandatory 72-hour periods and blah, blah, blah. But anyway, she does a really good job. So check her out if you're looking to move in and around this area. Also, a friend Otto, of course. I just was there last week. I'll be there again probably earlier next week, after July 4th, certainly. I don't even know if they're open July 4th. I should have asked them that. I wouldn't doubt it, though. I bet they're open. But anyway,
they're open.
Yeah, they're usually open on most holidays, except for Christmas and Thanksgiving, I think. But our place is a good place to go business, and I go there for my networking meetings. I go there for meeting potential sponsors, or just to have visits.
Really good food.
Yeah, it is. Really
Just
is.
go for great food and amazing staff.
Yeah,
They
well,
really do have amazing staff.
That is true too. I mean, and I got to know somebody's name because he doesn't have the kind of turnover that you see in a lot of restaurants.
No, he
and
doesn't.
And that tells me a lot about him and how he treats his help.
Absolutely.
Also, Chris over at the Wild Cigar and Culture, if you haven't checked it out yet, he's the feature article in the latest Burleson Buzz. Has he gotten a hold of you yet, Cody O'Brien? I know I gave him your name.
For
He has a news weekly, online news weekly.
No,
the
I
Burleson
haven't.
Buzz. I'll,
No, I was going to ask you. I'm like, what's the Burleson Buzz?
it started about 3 or 4 weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
And it's been the intent of it with Cody's project here is he wants to kind of replace the weekly newspaper that we don't
that'd be
have anymore.
So nice.
Yeah.
I miss the weekly newspaper.
So he has stories about the railroaders or about the latest city council meeting and things like that. And this one is an article about Chris over at the Wild Cigar and Culture.
Nice.
So he'll be getting a hold of you too. I gave him about 8 or 9 contacts, and
Great.
he's just working his way through them. So thank you, Chris, for all your help. I hope you're doing well. Thank you also to Tiffany, Nico. Of course, you still have time to get your tickets for the party at the Pavilion. Just check out locallifetx.com, hit the QR code, and it'll tell you everything else from there. And the newest issue will be out towards the end of next week. We have the mail on Tuesday thing. These darn federal holidays. It seems like every time we turn around, it's a federal holiday. I need my mail. Anyway,
I'll take the federal holiday, honestly.
Do y'all take holidays like that?
Oh, yes,
you
we
open,
do.
Are you going to be open for July 4th?
No.
All right.
We're not going to be open Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
We extended our 4th of July holiday this year.
See,
It's not normally like that, but it just didn't make sense because we aren't open to clients on Mondays. And, sometimes you just got to take care of your people. We've been so busy and everybody's so tired. One extra day just kind of makes everybody smile.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't doubt it. When I moved to Burleson, and this hasn't changed, I said, how many businesses are closed on Monday? What is this?
A lot.
Remember thy Monday and keep it holy? Is that in the scripture around here?
I don't know, but we should have it.
Well, a lot of restaurants, a lot of stores, a lot of, it's like, good grief. All right, anyway, thank you also.
Small business.
Yeah. Gayla's not open on Mondays. She's open now, though, and that's good
She's
enough.
not open on Mondays? Mm-mm. Oh, that's interesting.
She's Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 5, and then on most Saturdays from like 10 to 1. Now,
Did they get moved yet?
they're in the process of doing that. They're still building the cabinets, and so what they're having is they're just moving as what they can. Robin's telling me that they're moving what they can down there, but they're still waiting on the cabinets. And before the cabinets are there and they're secured and they're lockable, they're not moving the inventory yet. So
Good
they're still
idea.
open. Yeah, that'll be the last thing they move.
Right.
Also, she'd asked me to tell you that space she has on the 3rd floor will be available, and she's going to be the tenant or landlord, rather.
Okay.
So if you know anybody out there in the vast listening audience that needs some really decent office space at the Windmiller Building, that's going to be available in about 2 weeks, and it's a nice place. It's
good space.
great location, nice view.
Very secure.
Yeah, it is. Also, thank you to Old Pro Roofing. I saw John yesterday, 817-734-2756. He came out and checked my roof about 10 days ago, and after all that hail business, and he said, your roof is fine. And I think that's what you can expect is not the upsell or, oh my Lord, how is your house still standing routine. It just, you're fine,
That's what mine was. I mean, obviously there's some dings, but I have a 2-year-old roof, and they were like, I didn't talk to Old Pro, but another reputable company.
Right.
And they're like, nope, you're okay.
Well, there's a lot of,
So good.
well, yeah, really, I was concerned.
I mean, I know not everybody got it, but it was the
Big one, huh?
full hand size hail.
Ours are like ping pong ball size.
Oh no, I still have it. It's in my freezer.
Well, there's a lot of good companies here in Burleson, and there's also a lot of cowboy fly-by-night outfits that drive by, and
Old Pro is definitely
Old Pro
a
is
solid one.
Well, they're, of course, and they're over at Old Town, so they're a local outfit. Also, speaking of local outfits, Texas Farm Bureau, Melissa Harmon, 682-804-0534. She'll check out your insurance, see if she can save you money. She did for me. Texas Farm Bureau gets all sorts. Now, you're a client, right? Mm-hmm. And they get all sorts of reputable, or that's not the word I'm going to say, recommendations. That's the word.
Yeah, they're a great insurance to work with. They aren't necessarily always the cheapest, but like when you have a claim, it's very fair. And it's usually really fast.
And they're not going to try to hose you out of the money. That's what I've been told.
Well, the thing that I learned about this, it's a membership base. So you're the client and you're the stakeholder. So they're trying to take care of you on both sides. So it really keeps it fair and honest and stuff. It's pretty cool.
What I've noticed for me, though, I had a pretty good insurance company. I wasn't unhappy with mine, but I just, as a BNI courtesy, I said, check it out. And she actually did save us money and up my life insurance a whole bunch, which I thought my wife was a little bit too enthusiastic about. But
so I'll let somebody know if you disappear.
Yeah, that's right. She just said, yeah, here, have another piece of cake. Anyway, also, thank you to Lisa over at Stop Restoration. Lisa and Moore Smith. I saw them yesterday. I do a little client care, I guess, if you would, and I'll visit with them a little bit. And they're also BNI members. And they really know what they're doing. They are mold specialists. If you have water damage, you have fire damage, you have environmental hazards of any kind, she'll be able to handle that for you. And so they really are good people. I enjoy talking with them. They just seem to know what's going on in their business. So if you have any need for that, there you go. I don't think we have any nonprofit stuff going on except for other than the Party Pavilion, which is. Tickets are required, but other than that, I don't know if there's anything else.
Is that a nonprofit event?
It's sponsored by the city, but I don't know what the financial arrangement is, and I'd rather not speculate. To tell you the truth, I know that Tiffany gets some money from their hotel tax to help put it on.
That's separate from what the city does.
Yeah,
that's just their hot mot grant. She has a grant to do that.
Yes, right. She gets a grant.
Yeah, that's not really related to the city, except for that she got the grant to help put it on.
Right. So you probably have to ask her all the details about that, because I'd hate to sit there and speculate and put it all wrong. But that being said, here I got everybody shared here. All right, in relatively quick order. Let's talk about y'all. Now, I know it's been hotter than just that's decent outside. Has that affected y'all's situation at all? Are you getting more because of that?
I don't think we're getting more. At least those electric bills haven't hit till next month.
That's what I was thinking.
So, but we've been really busy with financial aid. Our biggest challenges right now is our truck's broken.
Oh my!
And so we've been having to rent. So we've put quite a bit of money into it, and so I actually sent a thing to Taylor, but we're trying to do a crowdfunding. We've tried to write some grants and stuff to buy a new to us or a brand new truck, whichever comes first. But we really are desperate for that because the amount of money that we would have to put into it just to find out if it's worth fixing.
Right.
We're not there yet. We need something that's a little bit more. Yeah, there it is. So what this is we're just asking people if they're willing to do your own fundraiser. Would you do it, share with your friends, $5, $10. They set up the thing, ask their friends for donations, and hopefully some of the ones we're looking at are between $40,000 and $60,000 up to $100,000. Well, that's the cheap ones.
Yeah,
the really cheap ones are $40,000, but some of them aren't necessarily bad vehicles at that price and stuff. But we're really that's probably our biggest thing right now, outside of food donations and stuff. We've got a lot going on, but that's put a real crimp in everything. So we're having to rent a truck a couple days a week, and then use our pickup truck the other days. But it's so hot out, so the drivers, they're having to do a lot of it in a pickup, or trailer or whatever. But it's just a lot more work than having the lift and stuff like that. So we do have a covered trailer that they can use if they need it and stuff. But it's really it's small. It's really, we need a new truck with the lift because somebody asked, well, can we do something else? And it's like, we really can't because we get pallets, so many pallets, and we have to deal with loading docks. So trailers don't work the same. It's our staff are not the youngest, and we need to take care of them to make sure they don't get hurt and make sure that they can do it and that we can maximize the food that we can get.
So you use this truck to go to, say, H-E-B or City Market or whatever to pick up?
Yeah, we pick up from City Market. We pick up from Mrs. Baird's. We have a lot of other places we go, commissary and some other places that we get our food from. and we really need to make sure they have the ability to get it with safely, and especially with this heat, man. And then in the winter, it's so cold, but like, I don't need anybody hurting their back or anything like that. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. My diabetes alarm goes off all the time during the show.
Well, this is my, when family, their emergency, they can get through even do not disturb. So,
Okay.
Hi, family.
Well, so this truck it's not repairable?
Maybe.
Well,
and it might be, but it's going to cost it's going to cost a few $1,000s
Right.
just to determine how much it would cost to fix.
Wait a minute. It's going to cost you like $5-6 grand just to find out it's going to cost you $5 or $6 grand more?
Yes, because of where it is and what it is and stuff like that. So, yeah, and we're working with reputable companies. We're not just
sure, but still,
because of just what it is. These are these big trucks and stuff. So yeah.
Well, 40,000 at the minimum. That's a pull for an outfit like y'all's, isn't it?
It really is. So,
Yeah.
but it's urgent, and so we're, like I said, we're writing grants. We're trying to do some matching activities, stuff like that. But we're asking people to do help us, maybe fundraise, do a little crowdfunding, and set up your own donation. That's like a big deal right now, because on top of that, we also need food.
You're right.
And like I've shared, so we're serving 70 to 80 families a day, which is like triple
right.
what everybody's saying. Debbie and I've talked, and I know House of Hope, actually, I think they may be even serving a little bit more. They're in Tarrant County, so they're serving a slightly different population.
Right.
But what I tell people is like, find your local food pantry. We want you to give to us, but like, find who's in your backyard, because all of us are needing food. We have a lot. There's just so many people, and it's not like, we were just talking about this morning. Actually, it's not. It's just different. Like, who's coming, the desperation, the true hunger. Like, for a while, I feel like we had kind of created a food security a little bit. I'd kind of talked about that before, but now it's like people are back to kind of this panic mode again. And the financial assistance that's required. So one of our big things is the financial assistance. We do a lot of that a lot of others don't. And so we are trying to help prevent homelessness. I mean, honestly, that at the end of the day, that is our goal, because once you become homeless or evicted or any of those things, it is really hard and very expensive to get into a new home. Yeah. And so, $1,500 to $1,800 now might save, tens to hundreds of thousands later, and people living on the street with their kids. So, in order to have rental, you have to have water, you have to have electricity. So and you can't just pay your rent, you have to have it all. I've said this before, because CPS can get involved in certain situations if you don't have a habitable house.
Right.
I mean, certain situations, it's not everybody, but like, there's just a lot of things, and there's a lot of people who are at deep risk. And I've said it before, it's not just inflation, that's part of it. It's insurance has gone up, value of homes has gone up, so taxes have gone up, electricity's gone up. I mean, it's all these little things.
It ain't little. I mean,
that have and some of them are big. Like my mortgage, oh my gosh. But you put all that together, and gas prices, I mean, they've stabilized, but they're still higher than they were. And it's just, you put it all together, and people are just like, it's not one thing to fix. It's like multiple things to fix. And overall, it's just the cost of living has gotten so challenging. And people are just everyday people, mental health issues. We're actually starting a program with Texas Health Hughley Hospital, their faith community initiative. So we're partnering with them on some mental health concerns, and being able to help identify people who are having needs and refer them to get help.
I have REACH across Johnson County coming in about 3 weeks.
They're part of that program too.
Yeah. So Ms. Byers will be talking with us again about that. Also, but here's the thing is, like, I'm really concerned, not just from here on June 29th, but July 29th, when the electric bills come in for this heat wave we've been having. I'm afraid that's really, you're going to really have a crush of people said, my electric bill doubled this
Well, and the
last
hard
month.
thing is we have a budget, and it's like, just because they come in doesn't mean we can say yes. And so that's where supporting Harvest House really does help. A lot of people give 10, 25, 50, $30. I mean, really our goal, if we could get everybody to give $30 a month, that would help us take care of a family for that month. And all of those little dollars add up to big dollars. In the same way, that all the electricity and all these things have added up. It makes a significant difference. I mean, we have people who give $5 a month. I have people who give $12.50 a month. I have people who give $25, $30, all the way up to, I think our highest is like $300 a month or something like that, and those things are like significant throughout the year, and people want to help. And sometimes they're like, well, I can't give $120. Well, you can if you give $10 a month. That's $120 for the year.
Yeah.
And people don't always think about it that way.
Well, that's true. And I've talked to several nonprofits, and they all stress that kind of routine monthly giving is really, really valuable. They
100%.
they all take the gifts, certainly, but to make a budget, you need to have an idea how much you're coming in on a monthly basis.
Yep.
And it seems like, wow, in the last couple of years, I've talked to you, I've talked to Debbie at Promises, I've talked to Crazy 8, the Megan over at Next Step, the Center for ASD, all these people, and it's like, the need keeps growing, and it's like you want to do something about it, and you all are, but I'm sure there are people that you want to help, but you just can only help them a little bit, and you know that they're going to be back next month, right? Because the situation in life, a one-time gift isn't going to change your situation.
And that's where I think we're different than a lot of organizations, because if we choose to help you, like with your rent or something, it's going to get down to zero. Like, we can't, we're not going to give you $50. I mean, we'll give you $50, but you got to come up with the balance. So like, if you put what you can forward first, show us the receipt, then we'll pay the balance. So we work with a lot of landlords. We work with a lot of people. This year we're really focusing on restoration and how do we help long-term. We are working on implementing a long-term stabilization program, which includes education. Actually, in July, in like 2 weeks, we're going to start our first ESL class.
Oh, really?
We have a volunteer who's coming in to do that. I don't remember exactly what time that's going to be. But I'm really excited about some of those things and starting to grow that education to help stabilize people in their homes, in their jobs, helping, people who have been incarcerated, help them figure out how to negotiate outside of being in prison. Because, we have worked with somebody who was in prison for, I think, 17 years.
Whoa.
And he's out and has really changed. I mean, it really was like, look, I want a different kind of life now, and is working really hard, but he has no idea what spam email is. I mean, think about all the things that have changed in the last 3 years, let alone the last 17, how the world is different in every way and how you navigate that. And so how do you get jobs? I mean, you already have this record, so what do you do to stabilize when you don't even understand the world anymore? So there's a lot of things like that we do, just working with people and helping them.
Well, there's a tremendous bias about hiring ex-convicts, people out of jail. I was talking with Lisa Swartz about this in her last visit, because they have a lot of that going on too. In her outfit, they're trying to, and it's like sometimes when you get a felony, it's a lifetime sentence.
Yep.
And it's I don't know how fair that is. I mean, I understand if this guy's a serial killer, you don't want to hire him to take care of your kids at the daycare.
Right.
There is some limits, of course, but some of these people, that committed nonviolent crimes, and they can't get a job. Or it's very, very difficult to get a job, or an apartment, or proof
think
of
about
loan
the
for
one
a car.
that does have the violent crime, and has truly reformed, because they were 20 when it happened, and now they're 40. They're not the same person, and it's like, how long do we hold it against? I mean, we have, I think 50% of our staff are hard to employ individuals. Not all of them have felons, but many of them do. All of them are nonviolent. But we have people with special needs. We have at least 2 people who are on the spectrum. And that's one of our goals, is to be similar, like what Lisa Schwartz is doing, is having places where you can help people get experience, help people start over, help people. I mean, because obviously we're a stepping stone job, and our goal is to help people get to the place where they can support themselves.
Well, one of the things Reese Olson does over at Re-Inspire over in Cleburne with those aging out foster kids is they teach them, computer skills and how to work an Excel page, and which I could use that training. I still can't navigate Excel, but all these other things that make them employable, how to present themselves in an interview. Do y'all do those kind of things, or do you plan on it?
No.
Okay.
We work with other organizations that do that.
Okay.
So that's not our main thing. Our mission is feed, clothe, restore, essentially. And so that's where the collaboration comes in, because we want to work with people who do that. So we're always looking for partners. I mean, they can utilize our space. Like the ESL class, that's a volunteer who's coming in to do that. We've got some people ready to do financial literacy when we're ready to do that. We have people who are ready. We're talking with Mind Above Matter about doing some mental health support groups.
Right.
Things that we're not the experts in it, because there's enough experts in this community. If I want to do something with working with people with special needs, I'm going to call Lisa Boltinghouse and have somebody from the center come down and train my staff, as opposed to us trying to become the experts in those things.
Right.
I'm a big believer in collaboration.
Well, were you here last time we talked about the Giving Day on late September? Because I've talked to a couple of your colleagues. I don't know if
you and I talked about it.
Well, September 21st, put that on the calendar. And what I noticed last time we did it is, you did the cross-pollination, if you want to call it that. I mean, it really was like a united front, and it's like, I don't know if a lot of communities have that. I
don't think so, but I would say in Burleson especially, like, I'm in Rotary with Megan and Lisa. Lisa Boltinghouse. I talk to Lisa Schwartz a lot. We collaborate, we share. So all of at Reach Across Johnson County, I mean, maybe it's not always me, but somebody on my staff is interacting, and that's our goal. And I think it's all their goals too, is how do we can only make this community stronger if we're doing it together. Even like what Debbie's doing over at Promises. We're working on a project to do a fall back to school thing together there, where we're not in competition. We're here to help this community become better. They do something different than we do. We do it, and it's just, but we do it together. And that's how families are really changed, because there's more than one place. I mean, if we were fighting against each other, it'd be miserable.
It would be terrible for them and terrible for the community. And that's why
Absolutely.
I'm so appreciative of just the dedication y'all have for this, because this is, I was talking to Debbie about this also, and to Lisa. It's difficult to tell people no. And and it's difficult not to take it home with you, because gosh, you want to help, but you have limited funding, and you can't help everybody.
Well, and the other side of that too, like, we can't always help people the way they want us to help them.
Yeah, I get
like
you.
There's people who want us to like support them. And I actually have a call that I have to return. I can't enable you, and there are limits. That's why our long-term stabilization program is so great, because there's things that individuals who participate have to accomplish for us to help them again. And, we're writing some grants for that, because I'm really excited about that, because that's what a lot of times people need. We're working with this person who's recently been incarcerated, is out. He almost lost all his stuff because he had lost his job, but he had gotten another one. So he's got a job now. He was able to pay off his title loan. We helped pay his rent so he could pay off his title loan. He's showing us the steps he's taking, and he's really, really working hard. He'll call us and say, hey, this came up, what should I do? Like, he's really wanting to do the right thing. And hopefully, and that's what we want, is to be able to walk alongside people, get them out of needing our resources ultimately, right? I mean, so there's different categories of people who come. You have your fixed income people who are on disability, who really can't do something else. So we're going to help them, and that's going to look different. And then we've got people who are in a true crisis. They had medical issues, their car broke down, whatever. And, one or two times of help is going to get them back on track. They're in between jobs or whatever. Because a lot of times people have that gap of a month or two. They lost their job or whatever for whatever reason. It takes a couple months. You get a new one. You're back on track. You're not coming back. And then we have those who really aren't in a place mentally, physically, or emotionally to make that change to better their lives. And our goal is to go alongside some of them and help them to find that strength to say, wow, because sometimes when you just lose hope, you like don't care. I'm
Right.
like, they care, but they've tried so many things that didn't work.
Or they just defeated.
They're totally defeated. And
Right.
so sometimes you just need somebody to come alongside you and say, you know what, we believe in you and we want to help you. And let's see what we can do. And then there's other people who don't. And so there's, like, for us, you know, those are folks who probably will not receive financial assistance. We'll give them clothes, and we don't ever turn away anybody for food, you know, but probably not going to pay your electric bill. But,
You know,
the hard thing is having to say no to people because they don't understand it's not because I don't love you, it's because I do love you.
excluding those who can't work. You said they're physically disabled or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
How many of these people you see actually are working people?
Oh, most of them.
Most of them. Yeah, that's what I was
A
thinking.
lot of people in between jobs, places laying off, you know, some of them are people's poor decisions, but you know, a few things that I've seen lately, honestly, are people who spouses got laid off. They were stay-at-home parents. They can't afford childcare. So now mom's like or whomever, mom, dad, whatever, is starting to find a job. And so they're starting over. You know, somebody passes away. You know, there's a client I can think of, you know, her spouse passed away like 2 years ago. Her job cut back her hours. She's employed at a very good place and makes a decent salary, but they cut back her hours, and she's got a 9-year-old kid, but she works nights, and it's just trying to help her stay afloat
Right.
and keep that hope, because she's trying so hard, and she's wearing her family out because they're helping take care of her kid during the day, and she sees that, but she doesn't know how to change it. And, you know, it's hard because a lot of people are trying so much, and that's when they get stuck in these title loans and stuff because they are so desperate. I saw a title loan the other day. Guess what the interest rate was?
Probably 30%.
800%.
Wow.
800% interest rate. How is that legal?
I don't know how that's legal.
One was, she had 3 very small ones, 800, 500, and
You'll
like
never get out of
250.
that loan.
No. And it was a small loan. But even with it being a small loan, she's never going to get out of that.
That is criminal.
I don't know why. I mean, how do we change that? You're the political
well,
guy. Like, literally, that should be illegal.
Oh, it is. It should be. If not, it's certainly immoral. And
Oh, it's
and
definitely.
I don't want to talk to politics
Sorry.
too much with y'all, but well, I'll ask
That's
you a
just-
political question. Though.
I want to know.
I want to ask you a political question. then. Okay. Now I'm not going to ask you who you voted for. Good grief.
Good, because I'm not going to tell you.
I know. Why would that be inappropriate for me to ask? Do you think the government does enough for these people you're helping?
My response would be, I think the government doesn't do it right. I think that the thing I've seen lately is the government gives you this and they take it away. They give you this and now you owe it back. They give you this, and it creates this cycle. You know, because COVID, everybody got a whole bunch of money. And then even now, like certain Social Security, I don't know, for whatever reason, a whole bunch of people got overpaid. Well, now they have to pay it back.
I read that.
Okay, so now they're having to pay it back, and that's their money, but now they're having to pay it back. So they got used to a budget, and now they're having to. It's this like 1 month they're just going to say, "Oh, just kidding, we can't do that." And so to me, I don't know the ins and outs of all that. So I have some thoughts on it personally, but like professionally, I'm like, the inconsistency of it, like we were a little bit slower last couple of days, and somebody said, "Oh yeah, the government gave them extra SNAP benefits." Somehow I missed that, but I'm just like, it's this inconsistency. How do you even figure out how to live your life if you don't know how much you're going to have, because it may be more, it may be less from month to month, and they just get a letter in the mail that says what it is.
I studied a little bit on the SNAP program because that was a big point of contention about a month ago when everybody's pulling their hair out about the deficit and the budget not being passed in time and on and on. That's craziness. How it's like you qualify unless there's an R in your name, or
Right.
that kind of stuff. Or you qualify.
Well, and so, okay,
but unless,
so Lisa Schwartz actually taught me this, and I didn't know this, but because in the government, so I'm going off of Lisa Schwartz, and I am certain that it's accurate, but federal poverty level is like $32,000 for a family of 4 or whatever it is. And it hasn't changed. And politicians don't want to get in there and change it for inflation. So like there's a lot of people who should qualify with inflation and all that stuff, but don't because like Lisa Boltinghouse was even talking about when their son, they found out he was autistic and stuff, like her husband made like $12 too much, and so he was disqualified. So $12 extra, and they were disqualified from any government funds. And I just think there needs to be a balance, you know, because I'm a believer in Jesus, and I believe it's the churches, us as believers, it's our job to do this even more than the government. I don't think that the government should totally be out of it. I mean, I think I like the balance. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to take care of our people. I'm not a socialist. I'm not, I don't want to get into all that, but like, I feel like we need to take care of each other. And I think the government like I said, it's the consistency in the programs. And there's a lot I don't know. I'm not super educated on that. So
neither am I.
This is just my personal opinion with lack of knowledge, so somebody can totally argue with me on it because they'd probably be right.
No.
But to me, I just really think it's the inconsistency because people don't know how to create a budget anyway. And then you have a budget that's constantly changing up, down, and it's like there's a trust issue that comes in, anxiety, mental health issues that all compile when you don't know when you're going to, think Maslow's hierarchy. You have to know where your food, clothing, all that's coming from, and then your housing and shelter. So if we want people's lives to really change, you have to have those first 2 layers stable. You have to know where your food's going to be. You have to know where you're going to live. You have to know that you can have a job and all that stuff, because if you don't, then you can't even calm yourself down enough to make a plan.
Most people I know,
crisis mode.
Yeah, most people know, Republican or Democrat or in between, are not opposed to the idea of government support of these type of people, but there's all these variations. But what bugs me, like I mentioned, is not just the inconsistency of it, but it's like, some of the most loudest shouters on these topics aren't representing my view on it. They say we need to make these people more self-sufficient. And the only way to do it is through tough love, and we're going to cut funding for this. And I'm like, that's not going to work. But it makes a good political soundbite.
Right.
And
the whole thing, because I know they were talking about, you have to have like proof of job or trying to get jobs. They made a big deal of that. It's been that way. That's not a new thing. Yeah, they made it sound like it was a new thing. And it's like, well, that's been going on. So, the thing is proof of actually trying to get a job, not just going to Indeed. And that's why Indeed and stuff is such a waste of money anymore, because like even when we've tried to use it, we just get all these applications of people like just obviously filling
the need to finish like 5 a week or whatever.
Yeah, because then as an employer, it's hard for me to find a good employee to hire. Which, by the way, we have a pantry manager position open.
Okay.
Our pantry manager retired a couple weeks ago and has gone to take care of her family. It is a full-time job.
Any particular type of person other than heart for giving and all that? But I mean, like you want an older person?
Heart for the Lord, heart for somebody. It's a very physical job. I don't care your age, but it's a very physical job. It's full-time. I think it pays reasonable, especially in the nonprofit world, especially in Johnson County. And
no one's getting rich off the nonprofits here. Are you kidding me?
But we have, we do offer benefits. They're not traditional benefits, but we have them, paid time off, holidays, things like that. I think we have a good work environment, but I really need somebody who is operationally focused, like somebody who knows how to create I think there's some efficiencies that we can work on with our pantry to help make it easier on our staff and our volunteers to, I think there's more resources we can get, things like that. So anyway, if somebody's interested, you can just email me. It's jennifer@yourharvesthouse.org. It is posted, I believe, on our Facebook page. But anyway.
Well, I mentioned to you before the show last week, my daughter and I were moving furniture out of her house that she just sold. and we went by your place and dropped off a couch and a love seat kind of thing and a dresser, and they're all in good shape. And your crew is right on top of it. It is efficient. It was effective, whatever else. And they were very appreciative. And except for the guy who went in the wrong direction in one way.
Okay, but that wasn't our staff.
Yeah,
that was another donor.
Just another donor didn't know how to read the signs. But there were people lined up. It seemed like just a continual flow going through there. I think the community's really gotten into the mindset of making this resale shop in particular work.
Well, and you know what? They really are. We're actually going to hire another part-time person there because it's so busy with garage sales and stuff, and that is not a bad thing. So we're also looking for somebody for the back for the resale shop. It's part-time. I don't know what the hours are, but just to help be able to keep it that way, so we've got staff. But I personally love shopping there, and for the most part, I mean, we get great stuff donated. It is fun because literally that's like my favorite place to shop. And I don't say that because I work there. It's because I genuinely can find what I want usually. I sometimes have to go back a few times, but that's the whole thing about the resale stuff. If you haven't been a thrift shopper, it's like, it'll be there. Just have to wait for it a minute.
Well, my wife does that kind of thing. She likes antique malls. And she'll tell you that your resale shop is better than some of these antique malls.
Nice.
Because you actually have usable stuff. A lot of times somebody finds something in grandma's attic to take a space out and try to sell it.
Yeah.
But as far as she likes going to like your place and to the Rachel's Hope. And
Rachel's Hope is nice and clean too.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. It's like clean. And
she's doing some that aren't so good.
Well, and we try. And, some days people come in and there's always... Like every once in a while, I'll find something. I'm like, how did this make it up? But we also work with volunteers and stuff too. And sometimes they put things out that it's like, this maybe should go back. So,
do you ever have to if you got a piece of something, furniture or whatnot that never sells and it doesn't really have high quality? What do y'all do with it? I mean,
a
lot of people maybe try to use y'all as a,
so we
salvage
do
yard or
have.
something.
So there's two things that might happen to. If it's broken and really gross, it'll go in the dumpster. Just be real. If it's just not something that's selling, it normally will go into our, it's donate to support is the company, and they pay us by the pound. It's essentially, it's a fundraiser. It's actually, they're a nonprofit, we're a nonprofit. So then they fill like Thrift Giants. I think that's where their stuff goes, and some of the stuff can be recycled. I don't know if they still recycle everything like they used to. It used to be really heavy on the recycling, but now I think it's a lot of... just filling their thrift stores. But, and then some of the stuff is recycled and they get the money for it or whatever, but we get paid by the pound for it. So that's part of the income for the resale store. And so I have to say this because people are like, well, you sell your stuff. Yes, we do. But all the dollars go back into running our program and our client. But the biggest thing that makes us different than other Goodwills and stuff is our clients still get stuff for free. They get a voucher. They go and they can get necessities, like they're not going to get home decor, but they can get pots, pans, beds, clothing, things that are necessities. And we're partnering with we partner with a lot of organizations, nonprofits, like Crazy 8, Center for ASD, Family Crisis Center. And we don't work with all of them all the time, but they all have accounts. So if they have a need... And I've even talked to Charisse at Reinspire. I don't know if we actually ever set up that account, but if you have if they have somebody who comes in and they have a need for something or somebody in the house has a house fire. We've helped a lot of people post house fires, getting furniture, clothing, trying to replace their stuff. And so our stuff is not just for sale. It's also given to clients who are, vetted and stuff like that. So we want to make sure that our community has what it needs, and so if people don't donate it, we don't have it. And again, the sales all go to back into our program, helping to make sure that we have food in our pantry. I mean, we rely heavily. We're trying to be somewhat self-sufficient, so the dollars that we raise there help make sure that the pantry and all that can stay open.
How do you not really launch on somebody who criticizes y'all for selling this stuff? I mean, that's
well, they've had bad experiences. Well, but they've had bad experiences other places. And all I can do is educate and let them know that we do also give it away. And that because...
I don't know if I'd be quite as patient. I mean, you do really.
You can't
really good
do
work.
this job and not be patient.
Okay.
You can't. You're in the wrong job if you cannot be patient in nonprofit.
Well, good. Because
it's just a reality. You've got to. I mean, you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been people who aren't kind, and Jesus always said, just if you go somewhere and you aren't welcome, you just wipe the sand off your feet and move along.
Right.
And that's kind of what I do. And I do my best, and I've made mistakes, but my best is I'm not perfect, and not everybody has to like me.
Well, I do know, and this is not just to butter you up or not, but you're one of the most respected people in this community, and that's no joke. Because I tell people, you're going to be on my show. Oh, she does great work.
Aw,
that
makes me happy.
Yeah, no, that's honest. I get a lot of people when I say, who's on your show next week, and I'll say, well, I got Jennifer Woods from Harvest Test. Oh, that is such a great outfit. And
that makes me want to cry, literally. I'm like, that's so awesome, because it just means a lot, because I think it's really important that people know how much, and it's not just me, my whole team loves this community, and they love our clients. And it's like, our clients come in, they stink, they aren't always in a good mood, they aren't dressed pretty, and they are so desperate, and they need somebody to just look at them and love them and care for them, period. That's it. I mean, like, most people just want somebody to listen to them and hear them and say, man, my life sucks. And say,
Right.
You know what? But we love you.
Well, that's why I consider myself one of the most fortunate people in Burleson, because I get to talk to you and your peers, and I get to see genuinely motivated Christian work in action. The hands and feet of Christ, as we call it,
Yep.
right in front of me. And not everybody gets to see that like I do.
Yeah.
And at the global level, I get to see it, and I'm just very, very fortunate. And I've had I've had these compliments said about a lot of our outfits.
Absolutely.
Next Step and all those we've been talking about. And I just hope the community understands just how blessed they are, and they need to respond accordingly. And it sounds like a lot of people do.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And next time somebody, starts squawking about you selling stuff, you say, well, I forgive you, but this is from Mr. Allard. Pow! Right in the jaw. Right in the jaw.
I'll just call you and say, you need to.
Yeah, and just here's a belt.
I'm going to stay out of that one.
Okay. Well, I tell you what, at the end of the show here, we're about at the end anyway. I'd like to, let you finish off, but let's also go back to that truck issue, because that stuck with me as well, because that really is crippling your opportunities to help these people.
Absolutely. Well, we have to pay for renting a vehicle.
Yeah,
And
that's not cheap.
It's not, and that's why we only do it 2 days a week when we have our pallets and stuff come in, and then we use our pickup truck or a trailer. But that's just so much extra work.
Yeah,
but we're trying to be good stewards and not just spend money. Eventually, I would like to get our other truck running, and I think we can. But right now, we just need something, because we've got some other projects that need to happen. We've got our driveway that needs to be redone, our sidewalks. I mean, we got a lot of things that need to be done that are big dollar things. But the truck is most urgent.
Where is the truck parked, by the way? On the Thomas location? Okay, because I didn't see it there.
Well, it's back up on the hill behind the building
Okay.
because it doesn't run.
Well,
Stuck.
yeah. Well, I hope somebody in the community may just, I don't know, I have a spare box truck lying around here, and just to help you out with it for a while.
I know that in the past we had one that was donated from City Market, but it ran for years and it just went.
You said that enough?
It had enough, but man, that was a great truck. And, City Market's name was on it. And so, like, if somebody is interested in donating a truck, we are happy to have your name on it and say, truck, provided by.
You bet. And it's tax deductible.
It is tax deductible. If anybody has a reefer, that'd be even better, but we don't.
A reefer?
Refrigerator truck.
Oh, okay. I said, see, for my generation.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, the truck world.
A reef was it?
Refrigerator
Weird
truck.
turn.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking, wow.
Well, you didn't know what we were doing over there.
Yeah.
You guys coming over?
Back corner of the lot. What?
Well, a lot happier donations, I'll bet. Hey,
Right.
but
Sorry, I can't help you on that side of things. You'll have
my
to go
goodness.
see
Now that's
Brian
a fundraiser,
Scoggins.
though.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
We should do one with Edna's Unbaked to see what happens.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny. Hey, everybody.
Well, this certainly spiraled off into
God
the
bless.
ditch, but no, it's part of
Good
the fun.
job. Okay, well, we
Anyway.
need a truck. If it's a refrigerated truck, that'd be even better. especially times like this, sometimes we get extra food and it can be stored there a little bit more if you have a refrigerated truck. So that's kind of what we got going on.
You have the Little Red Schoolhouse coming up?
We do have a Little Red Schoolhouse coming up. I did share a program sponsorship form with Taylor also. I don't know if you saw it. We are looking for sponsors. There it is. And this talks about all our programs that we have. So we're looking for sponsorships. The next page has like the QR code, but we have our summer food program that's going on right now. So this is basically just a program sponsor to help make sure we are able to do our client aid, resale store, food pantry, Little Red Schoolhouse, all that stuff.
When does that start, the actual collecting and distributing of the school supplies?
Like in a week, next week.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Usually it's about
we've actually got some people working on it already. With some staff changes, we've just, I'll be honest with you, we've had a lot of staff changes in the last few months. A lot of people retired. And I mean, we're just so busy and people just needed to take a break. So we're a little behind on a few things just because of it. But here's some ways that people can get involved. Our Builders Brunch is going to replace our Harvest Feast. We're super excited about it. It's going to be November 3rd. And it is going to be an opportunity to share what has gone on this year and to hopefully inspire people to get more involved. It'll be similar. It's just not going to be at night. It'll be Friday at noon. It'll be a brunch. It's going to be exciting. And you're going to be invited because you're one of our builders.
Am I? Well,
you are a builder.
Hey, yeah, right. I look forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
This Little Red Schoolhouse, do you want money or do you want them to bring you folders and spiral notebooks and pencils and stuff?
So honestly, cash is always best because we can get it non-tax. So we can actually save a lot of money. But if you want to donate the other things, you can. There is, if you are interested, go to it should be on our website, yourharvesthouse.org. Let me just look because I know we're almost done.
We got about 6-7 more minutes.
Okay, it has our food needs. I guess they haven't put it up yet for whatever reason. But there will be our list of school supplies and stuff that we need.
That's interesting. But, sometimes like when my wife and I were still working at the BISD, we'd go to like Staples, whatever, and they had like 50 notebooks, little cheap ones, for like $1.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and my wife would buy like a couple hundred just to give some of her students.
Yep.
And I'd buy some. Of course, as things went on, notebooks fell out of fashion and everything was online.
They still use them.
Blah. But she'd find like a package of 200 pencils for $2 or something like that. She would buy that out of her own pocket just so, because she knew that there would be kids at Centennial or BSD. Or
our
BHS
goal, I believe, we are anticipating 400 kids for back to school. So it's backpacks, school supplies, socks, underwear, because one day we really want to do shoes. I know Promises did that for a while. They're not doing that this year. So eventually that's one of our goals to be able to do that. But today it's not.
Any particular age group, or is it just all K through 12?
K through 12.
Okay.
The basics, paper, pencils, they still use them even though they use computers. They don't necessarily need as much as they used to, but they still need them.
And then what I remember as a kid, a little, pencil box with your paste and your scissors with the green handle on it and an eraser.
We were just talking about Trapper Keepers today.
Yeah,
I don't know if that was probably before your time, but oh my gosh, we were talking about... Because we were talking about these stickers, that's how it came up. Because now, we used to have puffy stickers, and now we have these water bottles. Oh, look, I had John there. Hey, look, it's Java John. And then this is from Next Step. This sticker's from Next Step.
Yeah.
And then the rest are from my kids for being a baseball mom.
Oh, I remember that. That was always a big fun thing. We were going to school supplies, and then the reality is I got to go to school. And after a couple of days, the newness of the pencil box wore off. But it was always fun, and I mentioned this to a couple of kids. We had a compass and a protractor, and they said, "What are those?" They had no idea what those were, and so, but it was always fun. But not everybody has that deal.
I know, it's weird. Well, that's a whole different topic. It's a good thing we're out of time.
Well, I had you on in July, and it'll be right in the middle of this Little Red Schoolhouse event, won't it?
Yeah, because actually we'll be doing our Blaze in the Station. I don't remember the date. I'm going to find it really quick.
Okay.
So the end of July, what we do is we have our Blaze in the Station. We partner with the police department and fire department. And it is going to be July 14th, which is actually a Friday. In the past, we've done it on a Saturday. It'll be a Friday night. It'll be at Fire Station number 1 and Walmart.
July 14th.
Yeah, they may. Almost looks like we have the 14th and 15th.
Oh, well, I'm going to check my calendar here, see if you have any opportunities to kind of squeeze you in a little bit. But I have
Oh yeah.
July is it's filling up, which is a good thing because
Yeah.
they can hear me rant about Biden and all the rest some other time. Which, like my last show I did on Monday was about that Russian deal.
Oh my gosh, crazy stuff.
Yeah.
I need to go back and listen to it, see what you said. Because
Yeah,
I
okay.
didn't have a chance to listen to it because it's craziness.
Well, I do have the 13th open, but it's if you want to just drop by and visit some more about all this stuff. I also have the 24th and 25th and the 31st. You can pick your day.
I can do the 13th.
Okay.
And the other thing happening that day, we are going to, City Market is partnering with us so that people can go and buy grocery bags, $15. And all of it is to just make sure we have food at the pantry. So when you go shopping, you pay an extra $15. It'll go to Harvest House. It'll be kind of a sample of what
The
bags.
money or the bag?
The money.
Okay. So it's like a tote bag, right?
It's a grocery bag full of food. It'll show what we're going to buy with it. But essentially, the amount of money will cover all the food. So we'll be able to get... We don't get that particular bag. Basically, what Kurt does is we just get the pallet full of the stuff that people bought. And it's really, Kurt is so... I have to get a shout out to City Market. I'm telling you, Kurt, and oh my gosh, he's so amazing. And just his heart for this community. And he does so much behind the scenes.
Right.
And doesn't want the credit. And, it just makes me want to cry. But he has such a heart for the hungry in this community. I know he does a lot for Promises, too. And
for next step, Megan says they get a lot of diapers from them.
Oh, that's true. I did know that. And they're doing a toy drive. This is a Next Step shout out.
Okay.
They're doing a toy drive right now, and they're doing a diaper drive. So those are things brand new. They're for babies and stuff for young kids.
Well, you booked on the 13th. I just put you down.
Okay, excellent.
That way you can get kind of ahead of some of these events going on.
Yeah.
Get a heads up. And by then you could tell us about the miracle that the truck was bought.
Yes, I'm waiting. That would be so great.
Hey, I tell you what, I was kind of half kidding about this, but you got to get Lisa Schwartz to pray for it because when she was on about 2 months ago and she was about to do the City Upon a Hill and the rain was supposed to come and all this, I'm praying right now. I'm calling out in the name of Jesus. It's not going to happen. And boom, and the clouds parted on Saturday. And
Absolutely.
And I'm like, I told her, I'm taking you to Vegas. Pray for these cards, Lisa.
Yeah, I'm not sure you'll get the same response because God's not really a genie. But I agree with you. And honestly, we really are believing, and we totally believe God can just drop that. And we're expecting it. I would love to come back on the 13th and say, "Look here we go."
Well, at least that you got a good head start on it.
Yep.
Okay. Well, look, I always enjoy these conversations, and I appreciate what all of y'all do.
Thank you so much. Appreciate being here.
Oh, that's quite all right. It's a much happier show than when I'm just, what does Biden do it to us now?
I just plug my ears and close my eyes and
well, that's good. You
bide my time.
You're a happier person for it.
I know. We've got a couple interesting candidates, though, for the president coming up. I don't know.
Well, we can talk about that if you want sometime. Look at the time. Anyway, speaking of which, tomorrow I'm taping this. I'm doing another show. I'll be taping it or doing an early show. So Taylor and I could take the 3rd off as well, like y'all are. So I'll be doing a show tomorrow. I have a pretty good idea what I'm going to talk about. There's several Supreme Court decisions have come down that are of significance, and I teach constitutional law at DBU, pat myself on the back, and so we'll just talk about these things.
Cool.
All right, so I'll be there tomorrow afternoon. 1 o'clock, is that what we talked about, Taylor?
I believe so.
Okay, good. But anyway, y'all have a good 4th, and we'll see you next time.
Okay. Bye-bye.